All right. A little late here. We're getting this started today. So hey, I think we're good. Good. Okay. Yeah. So hey, what's going on, everybody? Back here for another weekend super late edition. Had an eventful morning here. A trip to doctor kids, so just catching up from that, and everything seems like it'll be okay, so we'll see how things turn out. In any case, picked up here and our way through some code. As always, we're going to be doing a little bit of software development. We've looked at Blazor in the past. At least I've looked at Blazor in the past. I think I did a quick stream on it a while back here. But we are going to jump back into Blazor territory again. And this time we're looking at building, or I'm going to be working on building a project for internal project, I guess, probably the best way to say it, for my team and I to help us track some project status. So what I want to do, or what I'm looking to achieve with this, is I'm calling into some Azure DevOps. So a little bit of background. So we do consulting work. If you're looking for anything, come to APOP, do a job. We do some consulting work, mostly in mobile and enterprise type of stuff. And we use Azure DevOps as our, project management software. All the project stuff in there, just to keep track of what we're working on and project state and things like that. But what we'd like to do, and what we can't really do very well with DevOps today, is we can't offer a portal for a few things. One, we don't have a portal that allows our customers to kind of come in and easily see what's going on across projects. So some of our customers have a few projects going on with us at any given point in time. And they really can't just, I know we could give them like, potential access to our DevOps. But they really can't get in there and sort of get in and sort of see their data at a glance. And when you think about it, us putting the onus on the client to have to like understand DevOps and go through all that stuff might be pretty difficult. So what I want to do is at least in one part, give them an easy way just to sort of see tasks that we have out there that are outstanding, let them see things that we're working on, sort of where things are at in the life cycle and stuff like that. The other thing I'd like to be able to do is give them the ability to submit issues. So, hey, something's going on with my project, or hey, I've got this new feature idea. I'd like to see if you guys could pop that in there. And just see if we could develop some of that stuff out to, see if we can just give them some of that type of functionality. So the thing with this is I want it to be like as frictionless for clients as possible. So, I don't want them... Ideally, right? And we'll figure this out. I like them just to kind of go to a web page. Maybe it's something where we'll generate an ID or give them some kind of a token or a QR code they could scan or something like that. But I really just want them to be able to go in and say like, hey, go to this page. Boom, I get to see my info. Potentially there might be things that are sensitive, so I got to figure out like what to do with that or if that's the case. But a lot of times, like I said, it's really, I just want to kind of keep these quick status things out there for it. So, just sort of where things are at. And so maybe if it's from a high level perspective, the sensitivity is a little bit less. And maybe we could generate some like fairly unique IDs and stuff like that, so that it would be pretty tough for somebody to guess how to get to there, or do something, just something simple. Maybe give them like a simple passcode that they have to type in or something to get access to it, But I don't want them to have to go through like signing in with Microsoft or signing in with Google and doing all that kind of stuff. I'd like to keep it so. And so to do that, I thought what would be cool is to build it out with Blazor. Heads up, warning, whatever you want to call it here. I am in no way, shape, or form a web developer. So You know, like I'm going to be fumbling my way through some Blazor here. I'm intrigued by it for like a million different reasons, so I think it's pretty cool. But you know, it's going to be definitely you're going to be seeing me learn some Blazor stuff here. But we are going to be linking it into some things that I am familiar with. So we're going to be seeing if we could use some support out there for reactive UI to link into Blazor, and you know, see if we could do some cool things there with commands and with our observables and stuff like that. So we'll pull in some things that I'm competent with, semi-competent with, I would say. Things I think that I'm competent in. The reality of that's not entirely true. I think I'm okay at it, I guess. But then some other stuff that I definitely don't know what the heck I'm doing with. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun here. So we'll take, I've got a few hours this afternoon to work on some of this stuff, and hopefully we can make some progress, do some learning along the way. So let me kind of show you what I've got set up here so far. Spent just a little bit of time on this, kind of just getting a few of the little moving pieces out of the way here so we can make some progress. But the idea here is I've got, you know, your stock standard Blazor app out here. So far I've rigged up a page that's got just this DevOps type page here that's going to give us just a list of items. And we could click on that item and just go into a project. Again, I don't know that, you know, this is the exact structure that we're going to stick with or anything. Like I said, I'm kind of just sort of figuring it out at the moment here. So yeah, so let's see if we can just kind of weasel our way through here and figure out what we got going on. So cool. Let me get this going on here and pull it in. And, you know, I'll just shut this down here so we could kind of take a look at it. If anybody is out here who is watching, and I'll probably throw a shout out here a handful of times. If anybody's out here who's watching, play fast water, not disturb on. Knows I'm in here, so let me text her back. Let her know. I've got it. Got it under control. Today's sparkling water, is sponsored by Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's sparkling water. Pretty good. Pretty good. Recommend it. This is the blueberry lemonade. Highly recommended. If you got a Trader Joe's by you. Not sponsored by them, but I will take a sponsorship if they would offer it, because I go through a bit of this sparkling water. All right, let's take a look here. Get back on task. Here's my project. It's 8-bot status. It is a Blazor app. I think it's running 3.1, .NET Core 3.1. Let's go take a look. Yeah, .NET Core 3.1. So just, you know, kind of your stock standard Blazor app from that perspective. Things I pulled in here, just so we could kind of do a quick rundown. I've got our Big Bang library. This is really just a wrapper around some components in reactive UI. It's like our view model base and stuff like that. So nothing, for what it's worth, if you're following or if you're looking to do something yourself, just our view model base that helps us just kind of structure some stuff out here. I've got the reactive UI components and the Blazor plugin here and the Fody plugin to help us do some cool stuff with properties and pull that in. I pulled in this. I found this last time I was doing some Blazor investigation. This is Matt Blazor. This is actually a pretty neat library. Let me see if I can find the Blazor. Here we go. Still got it in my history here. Just a really neat wrapper for some Blazor components to make them available to us out here in... so these material design components, rather, to make them available to us in Blazor. So some really nicely designed components. They look really nice. They work, you know, they play really nicely with what I'm looking to do and stuff like that. And can even make somebody like me who's definitely not very good at this type of web development today seem almost competent, right? So we could use some of these. And then what else do I got out here? And then LightDB. We use LightDB for a lot of our mobile projects that we develop. I would imagine that I'm going to have some amount of just simple storage for things. And I'm just interested to see if LightDB could get the job done. Typically if we're building something for a client nowadays, we're using Azure for the backend data storage and things like that. So we've had a lot of people interested in doing Cosmos. Like I feel like we've done a lot of Cosmos backend projects recently, which has been cool. So like the last year, maybe year and a half or so, we've done a lot of Cosmos type of work. In Cosmos, if you're not familiar, it's just like an object database. Similar if you've seen something, just like a NoSQL database, like if you've seen, MongoDB or something like that, it's just sort of a object database for us out there in the cloud. Or SQL Server, would be the other one that we'd probably go to, just depending on the needs out there. So, but like, again, this is an internal project. It's not going to be something that I need to worry about scale with. It's, if I get 2 people in concurrently, I'd be surprised, totally, be honest. So I just thought LightDB might be a cool way just to get some of that structured out there. Now that I say that too, I'm actually going to open something on the side here for me. Let's get that there. So cool. So let's go ahead and like I mentioned, really what I want to do is I want to be able to see status of tasks and things like that, be able to query and see status of tasks. There's one other set of packages that I've got out here that I didn't mention. And these are the client packages for integrating with DevOps, Microsoft's DevOps stuff out there. So this is going to give us the ability to call in and be able to query all of our API out there, see our projects that are listed. I'm hoping that we can get in and see the tasks that are inside of those projects and all that kind of good stuff. So hopefully it's going to give us everything that we need. And the little bit of investigation that I did out there is pointing to it being pretty good out there. The only really configuration I needed to do for that is and I'm not going to show all of it at least. I'll show you kind of us calling into it, but I'm not going to show you everything there. Let me go here. We'll go to the project list. Oops. Not that one. Let's go to the project view model here. The only thing I really had to do is I came out to DevOps and I had to create this personal access token. This is the part I really just don't want to show, I guess, more than anything. I'd rather not show probably it's going to blip up there for a second, but it's not a big deal. I've got this personal access token and then this URL here. The personal access token is just like an API key. And I just created like a one that has like most of the access that I think that I'll need out there. And we're going to use that to authenticate against our DevOps instance. If you had if I was building this for like a public use or something like that, or building it for like reselling, I probably wouldn't advise people to use a public access token like this. I guess it all just depends on the needs. Usually you would use some kind of interactive authentication though, where the user would be signing in and we'd be doing some like OAuth workflow to get a JWT and then using that for authentication. Again, maybe this will change in the future, but I'm just kind of doing this cheesy way for now, just to kind of get in there and get access to it. But really, it's the setup here was kind of remarkably easy. You get your credentials set up here. We get our connection set up for it here, and then basically we just gonna we ask for access to a client to get data. Honestly, this was the hardest part of all of this. So let me see if I can go get, see if I can just find the, we can just probably just do a search for it and DevOps. It's like here. So the only, like I mentioned, this kind of getting up and running was fairly easy. They've got pretty good examples out here of how to sort of do your authentication or your authorization, call into your piece. You just need to know like your organization's URL. So this would be, for us, the name of your, it's, dev.azure.com, then the name of your organization. So if you work for, ABC company, this would be ABC company out here, right? This one's a little bit more, they're just using HTTP client here. But let me see if we could find one where it's got the, they've got like these pre-built libraries. So we're going to see if we could just go find the pointer to the pre-built client libraries. I think probably it. Yeah. And so they've got pretty good examples for how to use this stuff and kind of get up and running. Like here, you can see that authentication. And we're using, so these are, like I mentioned, here's like your interactive authentication. That's what you'd use if you just want to do like a regular OAuth type workflow out there. But we're just going to do some, we're using that personal access token or a PAT to get in here for ours right now. So. Let's come back out here. I know I'm going to need this over and over and over again. So let's go how-to guides, authenticate with pets, blah, 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 blah. .NET client libraries. We probably want to open this or this REST reference, so it'll give us kind of an idea where to go. Like I mentioned, though, the hardest part of figuring this out so far, like the authentication, very straightforward. You know, maybe took me 15 minutes to get everything set up there. The hardest part that I found so far was finding out which, so when you want to go and access certain parts of the DevOps API, so like here, for example, I'm interested in, if it even shows up here, so like not work items. Yeah, so like this was kind of the part where it became a little bit tricky, I guess, is, and I'm, again, probably just doing something silly or dumb here, so not finding this. Like I didn't see one out here for, this was the project HTTP client, right? And this is what allows us to go in and like queue projects, find our projects, get their IDs and things like that. But like finding the list of these, I wonder if maybe I just do like a Google. I've got this one. Finding which client to use and to call in for different pieces was kind of like I was saying. There was like the hardest part was just finding which one to use. You know, maybe there's like a good place that I'm not seeing out here. Let's see. Like some samples. Maybe just these samples here are probably like the place to go to. Client library. Sample. It's like even like here. It's probably just buried in here somewhere, I'm guessing. And I'm probably just missing it. But in any case, oh, here, projects and team. This is project sample. Probably got the all out here. This looks like the one. Yeah. So like just getting, you know, finding the right client to use was the hardest part. That's not even that difficult. It's just finding the right reference documentation to get that. And I'll probably leave this open. This seems like exactly what I'm going to need to get this figured out here. We'll probably just is a reference along the way. But once you get that up, you just kind of make your call in. You know, we're looking for valid projects. And then I'm just doing some regular old reactive UI type of stuff here. So I've got a command that's going to get called, and I'll show you where I'm calling that in just a moment. When that command gets called, we're going to go and pull some data, load up a list, pick it out to the UI, right? So if we just take a look at how this is kind of rigged up here, I've got this project list view model. And if we come back out to here, you'll see on my pages, I've got this project list page. We're using some of that map Blazor components out here just to go and give us a list of items. We could click on them. Again, I don't really know if this is the right or the wrong way to be doing this. It's just the max power way that I'm approaching it with right now to go and navigate. Maybe there's like a cooler way. I've seen some like URL helper stuff that might be a better way to do this. But we're just kind of, you know, setting up our view model here. Again, I know I could probably do some dependency injection stuff to inject this in if I wanted to, but just, again, starting basic here, just getting my feet wet. And then I'm going to come out here and just call that load data command and just pass it in some default values. Right? It's kind of where we're at right now. And then I thought it'd be cool just to build a details page so we could get in there and just kind of see some project details from there. So let's kind of pick up with that then. I think that's kind of the next best place to go here now that I've got that page a little bit scaffolded out. and see if we can get some of that set up there. So yeah, just to kind of recap this piece as well. So I've got this project details page and a project details page out here as well. When you go to the project, I expect it's going to be part of this project route, and we're going to give it a project ID. Again, I believe that this will map this project ID here to this project ID. I don't know if I need to like do a capital P here. That's probably a better idea. I'm not sure. Again, it's kind of all new to me, so I'm just working my way through this as well. Yeah, we're going to go and new up this view model, and then on initialized async, which I think, I haven't tried putting a breakpoint on here or anything yet, but I think this will come in with that project ID because it came in off this parameter. So we should have that parsed out here, and we could use this to potentially go load data for our project, right? So let's go ahead and back in our view model, we'll look at the load data command. This is going to come out here. We're going to get that project ID in as a string. I know I'm just reusing this. We could probably refactor this out in a minute here or two to just go and kind of consolidate some of this stuff here for, you know, this would be a good place for dependency injection to come in. So I just don't have this scattered all over the app everywhere, essentially, right? And then here, you know, I can just go and resolve that project. So let's just get this rigged up, and then maybe we'll just do a little bit of cleanup before we go too much further. Cool. So let's go and assign our team project. So we're going to say here, we'll assign that to project like that. Project details then. Let's go see how we could set this up from that material Blazor. I think we've got some cool stuff. Actually, you know what? We'll do this. Let's just kind of get it out there, and then we'll make it look a little different. So, in fact, I'm going to clean up some of this stuff here. Cleaned up. I know I could probably why, but just kind of get this rolling here. Okay, cool. And we'll say up here. Actually, I'm going to come back here for just a moment. Let's see if there's like a title or something like that we could use. I don't know if there's like sort of a built-in, let's see, elevation, hidden tab, blah, 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 modal, toast, tooltip, base component, word ref. Okay, I'm just going to slap it in a div. Take it from there. Okay, so we'll say div. That guy, and I'm gonna say view model dot, what do I call it thing here, team project dot, and I guess we'll just do, that's good enough. I just want to make sure that this is all, again, I just kind of want to make sure that this is rigged up, it's doing what I expect it to do, and then we can expand on it from there. Get that going here. I'm going to open up some reference code that I've got. Want to get some code here. Actually, so this will be interesting. So I've got some code from LightDB 4, but LightDB 5 was just recently released. And so here on this project, what I pulled in was LightDB 5, and I want to pull up some reference code that I've got from some client work that we did and just see what the setup for LightDB 5 looks like, see if it's pretty comparable. And if we can't just kind of get like a simple backup setup there, or back end setup there. Let's see here. It's got, like we got our app going there. Probably better. Guess we got our DevOps here. Maybe. Thinking about it. And we'll do wizard state. Let's see if it hit my stuff. Project ID. Got it. Cool. That's cool. All right, so that's looking good. Let that kind of bleed through here. Cool, cool. Getting my stuff. Call my API. Rip. Uh-oh. Let's see where that happened. Did that come? I wonder if that came from the UI side, because I wonder if like I need to do null coalescing. Can I do that? Okay, so we'll try it again. Pop, 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 pop. Alright. So what do we do here? So I think I've got, like, I'm not, yeah. Let's see here. I pulled that out now, and so now that I pulled that out, I wonder if I can refresh. Like, whatever. Layout equals nil. I need it to like... So if I come back out here, and this is one thing I'm actually not totally sure about. If I save this Razor page, I think it should get it to reload. Or it should be attempting to reload like the new stuff out here. Like, so if I wonder if I put this, and say like, I wonder if it's because this was pre-compiled. Yeah, like that's not even being hit anymore. Yeah, okay. So let's just be learning this tool in a little bit. So I wonder if, let's go back here and let's undo that one. So I wonder if I do this now, if that will work, because I'll get the name actually, you know, I'll do some null coalescing to see if we have a name. And then we'll actually see too, this will be interesting for me to see. So like if that pumps through, then I get that data like kind of late bound there after coming in off the API, if it will be able to update the UI after it gets that later on. So we're going to do that one. Yep. Okay, and that worked. Okay, cool. So neat. So that actually pulled it in. Even though it didn't have it initially, you know, so I get why it died. Makes sense. So it was, I had view model dot, you know, initially I had view model dot team project dot name. And it did not like that, right? Because initially my team project object was not actually set. It came back and told me, yo, dude, null reference exception. But we were able to just Elvis operator our way to success here, right? So just check that, and we're good. That's cool. Let's get my edit here. Keep on rocking and rolling. Cool. All right. So we've got this project name. I honestly don't even know what's all in that project or that project object. I really didn't do much to sit and think about it there. So let's see if we could just like refresh this page. Again. Have in there. I'm guessing it's probably pretty limited, right? Yeah, like it's good, it's well formed, it's this stuff, links. We probably got some stuff where we can go see like where at and things like that. But I wouldn't imagine I'm going to get any kind of like the tasks or anything out here, which is cool, which is fine. But we probably can go and, well, let's do a little bit of refactoring here really quick before we far in to get this stuff set. So we've already, you know, it's been identified that we've done this twice. So we should probably pull this off and use this more generically. So let's go ahead and at the start of our app, we'll go and register a singleton out here. And I wonder if we should keep the, probably, I don't know if we need to keep the client around as well. I guess I'll have to look into that. I don't know if it's treated like if that client's treated like an HTTP client where you're really not supposed to dispose it, you just sort of hang on to it and let it do its thing. At a minimum, though, let's just go ahead and let's pop this into our app and get it registered. So I think we could do this, and we'll pull these in, and we'll say that guy. Now I think I do services dot add singleton. Thank you. And I just give it, let's see, I've got, okay, and I just say like, yes. And I can give it con. Sure, and I guess since it's not like interface or something like that, I probably don't need to do that, but I'm cool with keeping it explicit. That's fine. Okay, so then later on, I guess for those pages that need this, so I guess we'll start with the project list details. Blazor. So here I could say it inherits from this. And then I wonder if so it's jacked. VSS capital like that connection. VSS. I guess this works. And then I could just pass it into my view model here like this. What is the path on this? From here. This one? I probably need both of those though, huh? Maybe I just need the connection. I need to add this to my imports, right? My VSS connection and that one, but this one, say says con, and then I think I can just say here on weird. I wonder why that's not taking me to it. Okay. Out here. So I don't know. I feel like I still don't love this, but that's okay. I feel like this might need to be more abstract so that I could do some like actual unit testing with this thing. VSS connection's pretty like limiting, you know? I probably want to just have like an interface that says like, go get my projects or something like that. But that's an optimization we can make later on. Oops. So now can I use this to go get that stuff that I... Is that kosher? Complaining about here. Alright, well, I'm going to undo this just for a moment. Let's just make sure that this works, and then if that works, carry that over. At least it's one thing gone, and we can continue to abstract that and make that cleaner on as the project gets a little bit more mature out there. So far, so good. So far, so not great. Let's see here. Project list razor. Or if there's like an order of operations thing here I'm not getting. Let's just try and kill Visual Studio for a moment here. My IntelliSense is not IntelliSensing. Happens to the best of us. Tools, options, debug. Yeah, I do want to enable that. That is a great suggestion. Options, debugging. Close this stuff up when you're done with it. Yes, please. Jam over here. Yeah, there we are. Also was taking a look at some stuff, not for today's stream, but I was taking a look as I got into here and came across kind of a Skia Sharp WebAssembly component, which seemed pretty cool with some samples on it. Where I want to be, I just want to... Not for today, but that's something as this project goes on. Some charts or do. Tools, option, bugging. Automatically. See if there's anything. Cool. All right. Maybe if I expand. Cool. So it didn't work for us, and that's, you know, I guarantee something stupid that I'm doing. I don't know if you have to like register interfaces with the dependency injection. Watch me fall back to using Splat in like 10 seconds here. That's going to happen. Also a decent, very decent chance I'm doing. I am pretty impressed by just the amount of pretty good documentation out here on the Microsoft side for how to do a lot of this stuff and get things registered and kind of get all that stuff up there and going. It's pretty good. Host services. So what is host? Builder dot. Jacked. Jacked. Okay. Internally, the generated jacked attribute. Okay. I wonder, that'd be cool. If I can, that's worth looking into. Yeah, my connection's not any. Again, I'm sure somebody who, you don't know what you're, accurate. Head single. Don't. Services, bigger services. I want to try this though really quick. I wonder if I can. So they had like this thing here that was like, hey, you know what you could do? Say in back. I don't know if it has to be a certain. Do they have to be interfaces? For more information, see dependency injection into view. So dependency injection. Inject. I configuration. Service injection. Model. Service. That's not this example. It surely doesn't look interface at all. Services. I'm doing this right. Make sure that this con is something. Could be. It is a thing. Add single. Feel like is what I want. Now, could I say like over services? Count? Wow. It's a lot of services. Logger, blah, 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 blah. I'm guessing my thing will be at the bottom. That is a lot of stuff registered. I didn't realize that that service had. This absolutely much stuff registered with it. Impressed. Wow, this is crazy. Talk about finding out how the sausage is made. Yep, there's then. Yes. CSS connect. Connection. type. Okay, yeah. I feel like it's in here at least. Let's see what else. Can I use? Wonder if maybe like maybe I need to do something to use it from like the code side. Seems like it knows about it. Maybe the timing's off on it. .NET or like, could I even just say, could I even just add this into the like constructor here? Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to do it this way. I don't know the order of operation. Quite the eventful night over at our house here. Last night, eldest son turned 13, and we had 10 kids spend the night, and they were up to like 4 in the morning. Tried our best effort to get those kids to go to bed. 13. Okay. Call me. Offer bridge. Amateur. Both. Okay, let's. Boop, 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 boop. Ooh, add them into here. Thing. They're using it. So perhaps the constructor. Wonder if I just need to like move it. What if I just use it here a little bit? We'll get rid of this one. Initialize. Create the view model. Slam some stuff through it. It looks exactly like how. Here's. Oh. this doesn't work, I'm just going to splat my way to success. Probably isn't the right way to do it, but it sounds weird to say out loud. But, right. All right. CSS con. Cool. Yeah, okay. It just must be like at constructor time for code. Probably happening before the injection occurs here for this, so that's reasonable. One should also be set here. Reasonable stuff. What is that though? Cool. All right, so let's just clean up the other one, and then we can continue along. Do stuff from. All right. So. Jacked. Now I think we're at least slightly better shape. Well, okay. Okay. So now that one out of the way. Let's just kind of stuff that kind of setup. And like want to see project details. I don't even know. I suppose I do, right? But I also probably need this to go past details. See if we've got another one of these guys. So that's our projects information. We're going to have another one that's my work item. This is probably it. Work. Get items. What do I need for the project? Cool. Cool. We got that. So that's going to be weighted. I don't think with Blazor that configure await false does like anything. I'm wrong about that. I just and ID. And I just get like different one. Good for a project, a string for a project. Work items for a list item ID. And this is the one we were just looking at there. So this is looking for all right, let's go take a peek. The work items, like really what I want to know. And I know there's like this query language too, so maybe I've got to do something in here to go just query for all of them. But like really I just want to just kind of get a big list of them if I could, just to get this. Organization, project. Separated list. Get like the work items. Hey Dan, just saw you joining here. Yeah, I've gone to the dark side. I've got work to get done. We're doing some Blazor here to get it done. Thanks for joining, man, by the way. So let's see. How do we just get like a list of work items, man? Can I just get like, give them to me? Create them. Guessing I probably like have to do a query. Work. Items order. Just take a look here. Maybe there's like another one that's all that's. Yep, yeah, and I'm using, yeah, I'm just looking at the REST API. I do and you know, and that's probably right here. Just look at this. I'm just looking for query just to get all the list of work items. So I am using the wrapper, yeah, because that's gonna make my life way easier here. So I'm just using those built, those already built client libraries. And I'm just trying to figure out like how can I say, hey, here's my project. Just go give me a bunch of work items, right? So let's see what they're doing here. So find any project. So here's my project. Create. Okay, I don't want to create a work item. Create work item. So, okay. Create one. Get work items. But I wonder if I'm going to have to do like some amount of a query like these. Okay, so that's like something that's being held in a context. Okay. Get work item date. Get work item. Fully expanded. Create and link. Give me a list of ones. Is there like give me a let me There's probably like a, I think I'm just gonna have to write a query for it, right? Project. Selectively borrow. To be inspired by this. All right, let's just go take a look at how they're actually getting up to begin with. That was create work item. That's on. Get work items by IDs. Set value. Or, oh, okay, weird. Okay. Setting that value, then they're querying it. How can we just get like a list? How-to guide, reference. Font. Looking right, so item tracking. Yeah, we'll just do, I think there's that, what it's called? Item. Get. Can I do something with this just to like give me like a pre-built query? Yeah, so this is kind of what I was thinking to do. Build up this query. Gotcha. Roger. Can we use what we got here? My wickle. We're gonna use the wickle. Probably like project I. Things that aren't closed. Like that's probably what I want, right? Query by wickle. Helps if you could type. Alright, cool. And then let's pump this into an observable collection. So I don't know. Again, this is like, I am so naive about Blazor. And it's like web development in general. But sorry, let me see what I get here. This is it's like a query result. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to do though. So I'm gonna say, let's go back to that example. Anyway, so I'm like so naive about it. I really don't know much. Work item select ID. Okay, so this is like I just say here. Gotcha. I'm gonna code this up the way I would do it on mobile, or if I do it for a desktop application, which means I'm gonna take it and I'm going to insert it into an observable collection, and it's just like a collection. So if you're familiar with the .NET convention of iNotify property changed, this does like iNotify collection change, just letting you know when inserts happen, updates, that kind of stuff. And I'm just going to put it into one of those. I don't know if it's really going to make a difference. I don't know if it helps. I don't know if it's... I haven't done or tried to do anything yet with like modifying a collection and what happens on the screen, or if it sends out that change notification. Or if you have to use like a certain like view that would be change collection aware. Like that's kind of how it works on the mobile side or on the desktop side of things. You have to use container that has the ability to listen to those iNotify collection changed. Now I don't anticipate that my Razor code's going to know anything about iNotify collection change unless somebody's put something in there. But I wonder if there's some kind of mechanism that we could glue onto or do something like that. I'm going to take that line out. I don't want that line. I don't want just bugs. And my project is that one. My state's not equal to closed. Okay, cool. All right, so now we're going to say those are my IDs. And I'm going to say work item result items. And now that'll be my ID. And oh, query will call script result. Okay, so now this work items result's gonna have a list of work items. So that's gonna be, so back to the observable, this is a work list of work items, and we'll call this items and get and this reactive so that it will raise a change notification when it gets set. And then we also need to have in here we're gonna have a private source list, and this will be a work item as well. By a work source. So what this is going to do, so this is kind of in the reactive UI world, the source list is sort of like underneath the sheets object that we use for doing, for building and maintaining our observable collections. The source list gives us like all these kind of really cool things that we could do with filtering, transformation, updating. Like it's, again, you know, I've usually refer to it as like sort of Batman's utility belt of a, like an observable collection maintainer. And so the source we really don't expose because it's a fairly it's meant to be used like internally kind of idea. But what we'll do is we'll build up our source, we'll kind of package up our data the way that we want it to be, and then we're going to expose it here with this work items observable collection. So we'll set that up here. Here's our work item source. This is a new source list of all that kind of cool stuff. Dispose with. Tell it, you know, clean this thing up when we're done using it. And now we need to build that bridge from internally to something that's a little bit more generic externally. And so we take our work item source, we connect to the source because it is the connection's going to tell it basically, hey, we're interested in your current state and any state going forward for the source. So we're going to connect to it to get all the current data that it may have, and then to be able to listen to any updates to data going forward. And we really don't have to do any transformations on this or anything like that. So we're just going to keep it pretty simple. We're just going to say bind. Bind's going to give us out var. This is going to be our items. This is going to be an observable collection. We need to put a dot before bind. That's important. We're going to subscribe here. I don't like love the way that we write this. Items equals work items. I don't like this like out var. This feels like voodoo magic to me, but you know, it works. What's wrong? Don't you like work items? Public, read only, observable collection, works items. That's why you don't exist. I don't really love the way that this, like, I wish I could just like point it to work items and have it work, but I can't do our out var property. That's not cool to do. You know, like if I were to change this to capital W, tell me you're out of your mind. Maybe not. I know you can't do it though. Because I'm fairly certain you can't do it. Unless it's changed recently. You gotta build it up. So like what I don't like about it is like you kind of build it up in this little block. And you're sort of like setting this thing somewhere in the middle here. And it just doesn't feel like this will be assigned, you know? But it's guaranteed to be assigned. So this will always be set when I come down here. So I'll have that available to me. All right, let's not do any error checking because this code's definitely 100% perfect. And we're going to say work item source. And we're going to do a .edit block. So I like this edit block because the edit block gives us the ability to go in and make multiple edits to the source. It will figure out everything that we did, and then at the end of it, it'll send out one change notification with all the modifications that we made. Right, so then I'm just going to clear it out. I probably don't need to clear it out. There's not really anything in here. I'm not sure right now that I'm going to have load command get called twice on this page. But in case we ever have anything where we're doing some like background refreshing or something like that, I'll just clear out the inner list and reload it. There's probably I know that there's a better way to do this as well. In fact, there is an edit diff that we could use that will look for, that'll use a comparer to see if there's any differences between the objects and just do a more graceful replacement of objects. You could also use something instead of a source list. There's another sort of that inner or that sort of private collection that we'd use called the source cache, which we probably could use here too. The source cache just needs some kind of property on your object to be, it just needs an identifying property on your object. So like here we would have the ID for the work item, and you would just use that to go and to do work there. So or you use that to drive your filtering and your unique identification of objects, I should say. Add range work results, and then just gonna go steal some code out here on my project list, and we'll just list. This looks kind of nice. We're gonna say view model dot work items. This is my not that I'm gonna go anywhere. Pull off that href for the moment. We're gonna say item dot, I don't know, maybe name is even title fields. Ooh, no. So we're just gonna do work item ID for right now. I have to clean that up. Good enough. Let's go check our progress. Let's go see where we're at. Ooh, look at that. That's how you comment stuff out. It's like @*. Cool. Not seen that before. I like the code intermingling here. It like feels kind of janky, but it's also pretty cool. I don't know, like it's got this weird feel to it, like I shouldn't be in here intermingling C# code. But, you know, it's way better than me writing JavaScript code. There would be people just red face screaming at the screen right now. Yeah. Software development. There. Let's go take a peek over here. Let's put a big point on that one. Wizard State. Getting it. Getting it. Getting it. Getting it. Not getting it. happen. Code, it was guaranteed to be perfect. Promised it. Here. Your reactive command. Jump off a ship. Did that because why? Now, is this because my query failed? Feel like it is, because it's sure. Oh, you know what? It's probably because I'm missing this. Maybe we should wrap this up with some sort of try catch. I guess people do that, huh? Also, there's like a better way that we could catch this stuff instead of just this, but there's actually a way that we could like globally listen for exceptions that get tossed out here from reactive commands, reactive UI. I don't know that it works or how it works or if it works at all with Blazor. It just kind of bubbles up a notification, so I bet I could just listen to that. I've just not tried it. This is guaranteed to be 100% now. Definitely. Oh. Exception. Said I gave it a... The project specified is not found in the hierarchy. Project. System.t. Okay. Let me do this. I'm going to do this off of the desktop, but I've got like a query. No is for client stuff. It's going to go and we'll say projects. Query across project. Maybe I need to turn. Say. My field. Here. Project. Okay, so maybe it's just the maybe I just need to not do the ID, and maybe I. Right. Let's try that instead. Maybe it's just not the ID. And I guess I gotta read. I think I'm gonna end up building like just some monster query, solve my entire problem. if anybody knows, can I see the work item query? Click email query. Get like hits. Yeah. Oh, saved query. Interesting. You can't perhaps get it exported. Looks like you can get it from Visual Studio. Can't get it from the web. Weird. %. Perfect. See, I told you, 100. But I think I need to go get the details. There was like a one of the samples was going and getting it with like all the details, with links and attachment. Work item fully. And it. When I say get work items and expand, that would be cool. See, this already has. Found is. Really don't need the link. Then out here, what I do like item fields sub some field. I'm interested in perhaps here. Called title. Keyboard. Work with me. Title, and then maybe date. Oh. Guess I probably don't need a null check on this work item. If I got it, right? I wonder if these will just come over as strings, or I know the field, it's a dictionary of objects, so I wonder if there's like more data that comes over with these fields, or if you just get like the ID or the current value with it. So I'd imagine this might just be like string and string, but the state's like probably enum backed or something like that. So I don't think I can refresh here. Fear not. Bounce. I thought this would be, you know, give Xamarin Development some grief because like the cycle is kind of slow. This wouldn't hang stuff, at least for website development. I thought I'd just be able to find my way. Probably doing something dumb. I'm probably missing. I get it if I make view model changes. I feel like I should just be. Title was not. Oops. They're just not what I meant. I could have just F5'd on the web page and that. Want to take a look at the fields. Got. Kind of fields we got here. Oh. Okay. Like a full thing. System.title. Is there like a predefined list of these? I wonder if we go back to here. They're just saying like title. Go back to this and see. Because again, I'm like at least mildly bummed about that because I'm just sort of looking at my dashboard here on. I'm looking at my dashboard here, just kind of looking at my like task dashboard over in DevOps. I don't see it described as like system.title, but again, it's probably me. Just being dates, rules, planning. Like here, I could see it. Sure would be handy. You know what I'm saying? Like if I could just do system.title here, and it pre-built, but that certainly does not. Bummer. So, you know, like if you're writing a library for people like me who are slow, sometimes like pulling this stuff out and just like having it pre-built, like if you know it's like a baked in system thing, put it in there for me. Yeah, it is a sunny and I'm not gonna call it like warm, seasonably mild day here in Chicago, Chicagoland area, out in the burbs. It is very sunny out though. You know what's funny? Like I always joke about it. And it makes sense, like I guess from an atmospheric perspective or whatever. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not Tom Skilling. Like on the days here, usually when it's the sunniest, it is the coldest. And then we get all these overcast days. Slightly warmer, you know? I didn't think that it ever rained in San Diego. I thought you guys just had like a misting. It was like a pleasant misting that would happen. My view of San Diego's weather is that it's basically perfect all the time. All the time. Like even when it's raining, like it would be like, oh. You get like that pleasant rain, you know, where it's like, ah, isn't too bad. All right, so we'll do, it's gonna do this for now. So it's like system. See, but like, I'd like this to be a constant or something, you know? If I do this somewhere else. We had a vendor we were working with that we work pretty close with here, with on some of their SDKs recently, and this was a suggestion that we actually just proposed to them for their SDK, because they've got like a lot of like magic strings type of stuff, you know, that we need to use and access all over their SDK. And you just have to, like, from arcane knowledge, you know, you have to go and just find out that it's like system.title and system.description or whatever. And I understand the dynamic nature of it and why that's cool. But also, if you know it's going to be like 99% consistent and used all over the place, why not just put it in there? Yeah, like Xamarin and Forms flags, yeah. Like you get the experimental flags and you're like, yeah, it's like experimental underscore collection view or what. Like, I don't even know anymore. I'll just go Google it and put it in. I'm going to look at it one time and then forget about it. Just make it as a constant, whatever. Get rid of it when you get rid of it. Takes 2 seconds and you don't have to guess about it. And like, it's still dynamic. You could still like add them on the fly. You could still let somebody just type it in if they really want to type it in. It's not going to hurt anybody. I mean, I guess if you run the linker or something, it'll probably link away that string and save you the space anyway. Put them in. Yeah, scan the assembly. Yeah, that's a great idea, man. I know Matt's pretty much a wizard when it comes to getting that stuff in there for mfractor. You know, again, he doesn't pay me or nothing. But if you do XAML code in particular with forms, mfractor's like huge, incredibly useful plugin that you can get for Xamarin development. It got a ton of like awesome IntelliSense stuff in there. Have description. Yes, Sierra. Tons of like plugins, tons of, you know, like helper stuff just to make you a better developer or make you a more productive developer. Ton of effort's gone into it. A lot of really smart tooling. Even if like, even for me, I don't do a lot of XAML stuff. There's just a ton of helpful things that we use all the time. Couldn't recommend it. Yeah. And if you're in the US, the exchange rate's pretty good too. So, you know, help out your friendly neighborhood Xamarin developers, right? mfractor's not like a big juggernaut thing that's out there churning out a bunch of code and just for everybody. It's like a team of 2 people, I think. Perhaps there's a third person. Highly recommend it. So I don't get weird. So I said the tags, give me all those tags. That didn't give me the description though, which is a bummer. Come on. See the description out. Maybe I got to do another query. Kind of stink, man. Or is description not like description? Gotta. Oh, I thought I saw it. Oh, that was the title that. Weird, isn't referred to it? I wonder if I got to get it from like a link or something too, because I just like is a description. I wonder if I just don't have descriptions on these. No, I do have descriptions. Some of these I don't. I wonder if that's a deal. Let's see. Which one do I have it? It's create. That one does have it. So like, now what do I do here? Say, go get me that one, but it's like, I don't have. The dictionary, I could do like, try get it. Out. Nada. Right. Is that cool? Can I do that here? Yeah, the mfractor stuff. Also a like big new release that he kicked out of it here for Windows, for support on Visual Studio and Windows. So if you're a Visual Studio and Windows person, you don't like doing it on the Mac, get mfractor out there on Windows now. I think there might even be a sale going on for it. Definitely recommend it. Plus Matt's like a pretty cool dude. Like, you know, shout out to him. Close. This is exactly what I wanted to go for. What'd I do here? Something. Weird. That's like bizarre that did something though. Let's see. Try get value. If that's this. And like it would probably help if I actually typed in the right thing too, huh? Yeah. Disabled. Is this what I need to do? Enable browser link? XAML IntelliSense for WPF and UWP too. Wow, man, that's pretty cool. Good for him. It's going to open up a bunch of new avenues too, you know? I assume the tooling would carry over. There's probably some logic he needs to do like some of the transformations for names and things like that, but it's like a whole new set of potential people, which is a cool thing available. True, true, false. What am I doing here? Out var, true, description. Be like a thing, right? I need to wrap this. So I know I've seen this. You have to do like, and then do like a block of code. Yeah, opening it up on Windows, I think, is going to be a huge boon for him. Blazor, like nearly what I want. I want that div tag. So how do I say, like, this description is itself HTML? I wonder if this thing's just going to take out whatever I give it and just render it as text, right? So what happens when things get mad real? When I get wrapped up here today, I bought a CNC machine, which is like, if you're not familiar with what it is, it's sort of like a router. Like if you know what a router is, it's like a drill and sort of turned it upside down and spun the drill at an extremely high rate of speed. Got a little cutting bit on it, and you can program it to go and cut wood, plastic, some probably soft metals, like aluminum or something like that. CNC stand, it's like computer numerical control, something like that. You know, if you're familiar with what a 3D printer is too, I feel like more people are familiar with 3D printers than maybe. It's like the inverse of a 3D printer. Instead of building up stuff, it cuts things out to have them, but it's very like precision tool. To go and put together my CNC machine. I got it in the mail yesterday. Working on a little side project thing with my father-in-law. He acquired some patents on some stuff. We're gonna let me see. So Blazor or Razor, string HTML. Now, like render a string HTML. Undo that. Can I say HTML.raw? Is that what that is here? So. Whoa. Whoa. HTML.raw new HTML string. Oh. Dang, man. Import that. We're just going to import all the stuff. They're cool. Oh, it's like an object. Gotta like well, let's just assume that we always have fields because I asked for them politely. Dan, this is definitely for legit business reasons and not because I just need something else to mess around with on the weekend. Actually is a real, yeah. My father-in-law is like he's pretty awesome. He's been like inventing stuff for a long time. But he's been pursuing a lot of his inventions more recently, so like some of these ideas that he's had for years and stuff, he's actually like approached patent lawyers and gotten the patents approved. It did not do what I wanted it to do. What did I do wrong here? Again, I wonder if this is maybe because it's within a thing. What if I pull this out of here? Do what I want. But he's getting, yeah, like I was saying, so he's getting some of those patents approved now, which is cool. And he's been pursuing it a little bit more aggressively. Awesome for him to go through and do and actually get that stuff going. So, you know, he's a pretty hardworking dude, and I'd like to do whatever I can just to help him see if he can be successful. So I am sure, 100% sure, I'm going to be using this thing for carving all kinds of stupid junk on the side. Because I think it's pretty, like, I've wanted a CNC machine for a million years for no reason. You know, just like for woodworking projects and stuff like that. Okay. Definitely doing something silly here. But now I've got like a real legitimate reason for getting one. So helping him out with that project stuff is something pretty cool. So I think this hopefully will be a fun thing. Am I doing raw text, Blazor, HTML, Blazor. Calling it a markup string. Okie-dokie. Try that. So I'm going to take this, kind of the way I've got. You know what, I'm going to take this. If you are, I'm going to say, for one markup strings. Is that the way to do it? Nah. Perhaps. Yeah, like so you know my growing up, my dad had like a wood shop in the basement. He wasn't professional on it at all. He did some professional quality work, I'd say, but like, you know, it was just a side project thing. He'd always worked in like here, and we always had just the shop growing up. So in any case, like I remember seeing years and years and years ago, and like just, you know, Fine Woodworking magazine or whatever had laying around the house there would be like these, it would always be like the Aztec calendar in one of them. Maybe that was actually a laser cutting machine. That wasn't that was like a laser CNC. Or like a water jet type machine. I saw that. Here we go. And from that like moment on, I definitely a zillion % wanted one of those things. But they were so expensive for like just tens and tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially. I can't really remember. I just some amount of money that was insurmountable. Like 3D printers would have been the same way too, right? Just huge amount of cost around those things. But nowadays, like, I mean, for what I got, for what it can do, I've got to assemble it myself, right? But fairly reasonable price. Same thing, like the 3D printer that I got, I've got an Ender 3, which seems to be a fairly popular one. Like, it was less than $200, which is still $200. I'm not trying to say $200 isn't anything, but like I remember reading in like Make Magazine, like 3D printers were first hitting, and we're looking at $2,000, so a huge. Great. All right, so now I've got my tasks out here. I've got kind of the state of them. Probably want to pop in that status out there. But happy that I got a little bit of this moving here. Let's see what else we can maybe figure out. Like I was saying, I want to, ideally what I'm looking to do is to make just like a client dashboard, something that's easy for them to get in and see and get into work with. You know, I want to basically, I'll give them some kind of random token. They'll pop that token in, and I sort of just want them to plop in, see everything about their project, log issues if they need to. I want it to just be as simple as possible. And I think I got some of the foundation here for it. So next up, I probably need to sit and do some thought and some design around these things. This is probably a pretty good stopping point for today. For me personally, at least, got to learn a little bit more about some of this DevOps stuff. Yeah, so I guess I did learn about some DevOps stuff. Get in there and learn a little bit about these APIs and how these work, which I think will be pretty helpful. So I can think of a million plugins that we could end up building out here for clients and just for other projects. And this was so easy to work with. I mean, you know, definitely learning on my side how to get in and integrate with some of these things, but like, this is a very easy API to work with in comparison to a lot of them that we deal with. And then the Blazor stuff, obviously, you know, like I said, I'm basically just fumbling my way through on trying to get a handle on it. So yeah, I don't know. Seems like a good place to wrap it up. Tomorrow we got some things going on in the afternoon, but I actually think I'm gonna have the morning free tomorrow for a few hours. So if I've got that, if that's the case, I'll probably jump back on and do a little streaming tomorrow morning as well. Either just continue working on this a little bit. I've got that mobile app that I'm doing for the Ring Fit stuff, for tracking and doing some integration there. I was able to make a little bit more progress there with the OCR stuff. It wasn't as easy as I was hoping, unfortunately. I was hoping it would just be like, Mike, we've done the OCR for you. This is perfect. And it's actually like very good, but I think I was naively optimistic. Anytime I've done OCR work, it's always difficult than I always going to be. So maybe we'll work on that. Yeah, I don't know. If you've got thoughts or whatever, holler at me over in the chat. Get me out on Twitter at Michael Stonis. Or whatever, you know, just let me know. If you got other things, you know, the other thing I was thinking of doing, I've got like a couple thoughts that I'd love to do on this. We got people like Dan, like on the stream. It was awesome to jump on there with Dan and do that like co-stream. We should definitely do that again, man. I think there's a ton of topics that we could just cover and go into like some amount of depth on, you know, and just talk about like, hey, if you're a new developer, here's some stuff you could learn, or check out this tech that we work on, and just kind of dive into it, you know, because I think there's a lot of stuff that I take for granted that new developers, you know, you just need to get your feet in and get wet with it. So yeah, I would love to do something like that. Thursdays might work, man. My Thursdays are either total garbage or okay. So I think if I were able to plan around it a little bit, and I'm sure we could do something like that, I could probably open up some hours. Yeah, if we could figure out something like that, that'd be cool. But cool, yeah, so I'll wrap it up for today. Like I said, if you have any thoughts or whatever, just jump at me, or, you know, get me on Twitch here, or get me on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, made some progress here. I'm glad, you know, it's a little bit more slow moving. Just talking over some things with me, definitely doing some more learning. But I'm glad that we were able to make forward progress. So with that, like I said, potentially jump in on here tomorrow. You know, if you join, that's cool. If you can't, enjoy the rest of your weekend, or if you're watching this later, enjoy that. But otherwise, I'll shut it down here for today, and I'll catch you soon. Let me go and find this. All right, take it easy, y'all.